So there it is, everybody. Unity has already backtracked. It took Wizards of the Coast like a month or more to figure out they needed to backtrack. It took Unity all of a week. Death threats at the office, like you've screwed with a bunch of people's food source and you wonder why they, revolted against you. Like literally, the Unity leadership went and said we're now milking all of you for every penny we can. Suck it up, and everybody went yeah, nah, fam. And Unity has now issued a statement on their um, Twitter account. I'm assuming it's all across the social media. I saw it on Twitter. We have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy you announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we will be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback. Now they made this post at 5:13 yesterday afternoon. I'm recording this like 7 o'clock on Monday morning, the 18th. So I didn't catch this until this morning because my day was filled yesterday. So they've already backtracked it within, less than a week. Like almost right at a week, but close enough. You know what I mean? Like it's been a hot minute and they've already walked it back. So the problem is they've already shown their colors at this point. And given their sort of fall from grace over the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years, I don't know that they can come back from this because even if they walk back their statements with the current management and leadership in place, no one is going to trust this company as far as they can spit into the wind. It's just not going to happen. The only way forward for Unity is for the board of directors to get together, fire the CEO, fire all of the leadership that were in charge of making the decision to do what they did actually happen. Get rid of all of those people and let's get new blood into the leadership who are people who are actively engaged in and give a shit about the indie development pipeline that spawned out of the Unity revolution. And not only that, there have been AAA studios that have used Unity as well. Look at Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. Obsidian, well, I mean, they were indie for a long time. But they were like AAA indie, and now they're with Microsoft. They're an indie team. In Exile, Bard's Tale, so on and so forth. They're a Microsoft. They've done Unity games. Like Unity has not always been like this, you know, completely fringe thing. A lot of big companies have used Unity, and it was really sad to see it sort of fall off the face. And we used. I said this in the previous video I did. My brother and I spent 8 years working on an MMORPG, essentially 7.5 years, in Unity doing world building and VFX and asset creation and beyond. To see it go this way has been very sad. But I mean, the reason we switched to Unreal 3 years ago was because Unreal just offered a better tool set and a better monetization structure, a better university program. They had the mega grants thing. There was, look at everything Unreal is doing with the like the Mandalorian technology that they're using with film technology and green screen and everything else. Like the virtual reality stuff that is driving Unreal is one of the reasons I switched over, and I just don't see Unity making that same switch. Not only that, like I said, no one's going to trust you at this point. The comments are pure fire for anyone who wants to read through this. Zach says, this is Asmongold. Y'all not going to get off like this some bullshit video game apology with weak-willed gamer nerds. People need to build a future with the design engine and the trust is already broken. No one is going to build a castle on sand after your bullshit. And there's just a ton of comments like that. It's really sad as someone who's been building a game in Unity for like 3 months, not long enough to justify continuing. Very demoralizing. It makes me not want to bother trying with a new engine either. Unity was unique in that it was designed to be used with C++, which no other engine uses as a primary language for performance reasons. It's built in C++, but yeah. RG Culture King of Guam says, we already know they're just going to rewrite everything in a way that means the exact same thing. Once a company makes a move like this, they typically don't learn or try to just do what is right by their user base. The frog of shame. If the frog of shame gets more likes than the original tweet, then your tweet really sucks. I'll give that a like. Oh, jeez, that's awesome. Dan's Gaming says, nothing short of a full reversal on this policy is going to help. Even then, you've forever tarnished the trust and respect you spent years developing. Oh, man. Oh man. Yeah, fire here's what this person says. Fire your CEO to regain some trust and not bleed all your developer teams to competing firms. Get a full reversion of the policy and deeply apologize the return to normalcy. Implement an optional entrance of 4% revenue share with all features from Pro The more devs, the more revenue. I agree with that. Seal the terms. They said terms, but I know what they mean. Seal the terms in a rock solid way. Never implement anything like this again. The company makes 100 million on ads and 30 million on subscriptions each month. I should just recommend not acquire 1 billion plus companies. But I mean, essentially, that's what it is. That's the only way you're going to get any sort of resemblance of trust back is to fire your CEO and revamp everything. It is a crazy time, everybody, but they apparently learned nothing from Wizards of the Coast, and which is really unfortunate because shit like this is why no one trusts corporate America and why everyone looks at capitalism as sort of this failed experiment because it only works when people aren't a bunch of greedy assholes. And unfortunately, like we see with the CEO and the shareholders and everybody else behind Unity, it's become a company of greedy assholes now, and it has nothing to do with the original thought process behind it. But they've got a lot of work. Like I said, I don't think it's possible to come back from this. I wouldn't touch Unity with a 10-foot pole. It's one of those situations where there are so many competing. Quick commercial break, everyone, to give a shout out to our first official guild officer, Bubalonia, as well as all of the guild champions, and of course, all of the members who help keep me on the air full time. To join as a member, simply click that join button below and pick your tier, but you can also support with SuperChats on any live stream or premiere, or SuperThanks on any upload or YouTube short. Don't forget the Discord. Let's get back to the video. I know a lot of people don't like Unreal as well because it's another commercial enterprise, and they're like, oh, it's a greedy corporation as well. I mean, they've definitely done some corporate-like things, but they're still doing pretty amazing things for all of the developers. They haven't jumped into that pool yet in terms of trying to be greedy assholes. And until they do make that plunge, I'm happy to continue working with them, just as much as I would have been happy to work with Unity up until this point. If I had still been in Unity, this would have been what provoked me to bail. If Unreal ever pulls shit like this, I will bail somewhere else. It's that simple for me. But I don't really do that much game dev these days anyway. It's mostly as a hobby project. Um, I have ideas for things I want to do with Unreal 5, but it's not on the immediate agenda. It's stuff that's maybe next year, 2025, stuff like that. We'll just see how things continue to grow with the channel. But yeah, it's people look at what is it, Godot or Godot? I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but that's another open source one that people like that say is a great Unity alternative. I would say that those of you who are looking for an alternative to Unity right now might want to look at Godot or Godot, however it's pronounced. I'm not intimately familiar with that one. I've looked at it briefly. There hasn't been enough. I would view that as something that's on the extreme end of if you're a one-man team, two-man team, three-man team, and you're just getting started out and you're still in the process of learning. I would say that Godot might be. Can somebody tell me how to pronounce that so I quit screwing it up? I would love it in the comments below. That might be a great option for those of you who are just getting learning. If you're looking to keep it on the extremely indie side of things and you don't need a lot of polish and stuff because you're a programmer and you're okay digging into that stuff. For people like my brother and I, one of the reasons that we really loved Unreal was the blueprints, which are far superior to anything that's offered in Unity. And that has allowed us to do some really cool things once you learn the blueprint system. As long as you're not doing necessarily an online game, if it's just something that's like single player, offline, doesn't require an internet connection to play, that kind of stuff, you can do some pretty amazing things in Unreal just with blueprints. If you haven't looked into that, I would say dig into it, dive into it. My brother and I love to use these examples. I'm a high school dropout who never went to college. I grew up on a farm. I had a construction company for years. Then I got into writing and eventually into game development. My brother went from the dairy farm to being a cattle rancher, has an excavation company, and yet has worked in game development for the past 10 years in Unity and Unreal. We are what we would consider to be poster children for how you don't need to have programming or any sort of game development, degree under your belt if you want to make projects happen. You just have to be willing to go out there and put in the time because all of these systems are learnable by anybody without any specialty knowledge whatsoever. So, now's a good time to look into alternatives to Unity. It's going to take them. I mean, this will be a year before this fiasco is over, and I don't think anyone's going to come at them with, I don't think anyone's going to want to join Unity until they do a change of leadership and completely reverse policy and everything else. So we'll see where this goes. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Drop it down below in the comments section. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see everybody in the next video. Daily streams at 11. Don't forget the Discord down below. 11 a.m. Central, by the way. See you next time.